Hey everyone, I need your attention for 1 minute. This is not one of those ads. This is something that has changed my entire life. If you've been listening to this podcast, you know that this is all about personal development as the foundation for everything good in your life. And this podcast is now sponsored by Growth Day, which is the world's first all-in-one personal development app. I mean, oh my gosh, can you imagine having everything all in one place that you need to create the life that you want? Now you can. So if you've been struggling with your motivation, your mood, your productivity, or your purpose, you have to check this out. Growth Day helps you consciously change your life and achieve your potential. It has all the self-improvement tools, motivational classes, and life coaching all in one place. So many of us want to improve our lives, but the question is how? Where do we start? What do we use? How do you get unstuck? How do you make self-improvement stick? Well, research shows how. It's when you consistently journal, track your habits, set goals, learn from empowering mentors, and challenge yourself that you'll be happier, healthier, and more successful. But let me ask you something. Where do you actually do all of your personal development work? I have to tell you that over 300,000 people use Growth Day for a reason. It works. It's the world's #1 software for self-improvement. Growth Day has an amazing mindset journal that I absolutely love, a habit tracker, and a goal-setting system. In fact, I bet if you went to my stories this week, you probably saw me using the journaling app and telling you to do it too, because it's the first time that journaling has ever actually stuck consistently in my life because of this app. And best of all, Growth Day has live inspirational classes every single week from the world's top motivational speakers and life coaches. These are people who have impacted my life in huge ways. These are mentors who I already knew and loved. In fact, this is something that's so huge for me, you guys. I personally teach a class in Growth Day every single month, and it is one of the most fun things that I get to do, and I'd love to see you there. These classes will truly shift your life. There's always something new that you will learn. So join me and 300,000 achievers growing our lives with actual real intention. Visit growthday.com/Lori for a free trial. Yes, you can try this for free. So go to growthday.com/Lori and go live your best life. You guys, that's growthday.com/Lori. And I can't wait to see you there.
When you invest time into something, look at it as, where can I invest time into something that will expand my time later? Good time invested is something that gives you a return on your time. Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. It's time for another quickie because there's always time to fit in inspiration. I have been just listening to so many podcasts lately and reading books and listening to audiobooks. And sometimes I'm on an elimination diet, but right now where we are at our lake house, we have this loop that we walk or run. And we typically do it twice a day, once in the morning, and then once to like bookend our evenings. And I have to tell you, once you're on this loop, you can't get off because all it is like massive farmland in between, and it's a giant square. The giant square is 4.5 miles. So we typically walk 3 miles where we have always lived, and then 3 miles in the morning and 3 miles in the evening. And on our usual walks, there's ways to like cut that short. But this one, there's no ways to cut it short. Once you're on it, you're either kind of like thinking about turning back halfway through, which is still the same amount of miles. The reason I tell you this is because it's been allowing me to listen to a lot of books and podcasts. And I have been just really gravitating towards more looking at the big picture of life lately. And number one, I have to tell you, I just started Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. Oh my God. Probably one of the best audiobooks I've ever listened to in my life. It's a poetic story all the way through, hilarious and just so moving. And I think out of anything, I'm such an observer. So I really love to listen to the way people write and why we feel the way we feel when we listen, because If you guys don't know, I do have another book that I want to start working on. But as books go, they take about 18 months to get out in the world. So I have not sold this book yet. So I'm in the process of thinking about the book and writing a proposal, which that is typically the longest part of getting a book together, is writing the proposal. It can take like 3 months. And it's like a 50-page marketing plan for your book that you go and sell to people. So I'm in the process of that right now with a team. I'm not doing that by myself. I did that once. Took me too long. It was too challenging. Ended up paying someone at the very tail end. And now I learned my lesson to just do it in the beginning and get that done and not spend all that time. So with that said, it brings me to what I'm talking about. And yesterday I was listening to a podcast with Rory Vaden and Ed Milet. And Ed is incredible. He was on my podcast. I was on his years ago, and he just came into my life at the coolest time. I was speaking at a conference called 10X, which is Grant Cardone's conference, and it was 10,000 people. I'd never spoken at a conference like that. I'd never spoken at an event that was mostly male dominated. I'd probably say 80 to 90% men, which is amazing. I've just always spoken more at female focused events. So I tell you that because I felt very out of my element. I felt like a fish out of water. I couldn't get grounded. I felt like my head was spinning. I thought I was going to be absolutely terrible. I was like so not grounded. And to be honest with you, full on freak out panic. And I met Ed the day before I went on to speak, and we had a podcast planned up in his suite, and he had it all set up with his team. And Chris and I went up there to do the podcast. And I have to tell you that we ended up having just the most beautiful conversation. He grounded me so much, made me feel so confident. And the next day he was just there to support me when I went on stage and when I got off stage. And I can tell you that made all the difference for me. Sometimes one person can just make all the difference. And then Rory has just been such a light in Chris and I's life. Him and his wife, AJ, they have a company called Brand Builders, and they have just been the most giving connectors, maybe like some of the most giving people in our life. So generous with their community, always checking in on us, like those people that you're like, are you for real? And years go by, and sure enough, that's just who they are. So I was listening to a podcast between the two. You can imagine the fire that was between these two epic humans. Go listen to it. It's on Ed's podcast, the Ed Milet Show. They were talking about time. And Rory really is just a master of scheduling and time and talking about procrastination. He has a book called Procrastinate on Purpose. And they brought up the point about investing time versus spending time. And as basic as this sounds, sometimes the most basic things are the things that blow your mind the most and make the biggest changes. Isn't that the truth? Like the most basic things done consistently are the things that'll change your life the most. And thinking of everything from investing versus spending. When you invest time into something, look at it as, where can I invest time into something that will expand my time later? So for me, there's basic things, right? Like I thought of right away, I was like, oh my gosh, when I started becoming an entrepreneur and I decided to invest my time in finding someone to be a housekeeper for me, and spend that time to find a really good one because it expands my time later, right? It gives me back hours and hours out of the day, if not 1 or 2 days out of the week, to invest this time into finding this person, to invest my time into figuring out systems in order to expand my time later. So I want you to look at your day right now, and we're going to just talk about tactical things, right? Like look at your day. Where are you spending the most time that if you just invested time into figuring something out, systems, a person who could help you, SOPs for your business, like where could you invest time that gives you a return? So good time invested is something that gives you a return on your time. Now, let's look at this with time spent. So sometimes we spend time on something, right? Like maybe you're spending time on a website that you don't know how to do it. You're never going to do it again. And it's spending so much time and you're not necessarily going to get a big return as the time spent on that particular thing. You know, and I want to switch gears right now and think of this in terms of relationships. This is really going to blow your mind because it was just like, oh my God, it puts it so in perspective who we should be spending our time with. So when I think about people that I've spent time with, I'm just going to be honest because you've done it too. I've gone to dinner and been like, well, I'm never going to get that time back. That was time spent. I'm not going to get a return on that investment. That was just money lost. That was time lost, meaning like if we're looking at it like that, right? You're like, well, that's never happening again. I don't feel like that was worth anything. In fact, that was like spending money on something that did not return, right? That was just junk. That was just going to not give me any good feelings later. So with that said, where are you spending your time that you're not getting a return, that it's not an actual investment? And sometimes, looking at this as we can't measure it, but what we can say is that's a relationship that I want the rest of my life. So no matter what time I spend here, no matter what time I invest here, it's worth it to me because this person means something to me. This person is valuable to me. I want this person to know that they're valuable to me. So I'm going to be as present as I can with this time spent, right? So really looking at where do you want to invest your time and with whom? It doesn't always have to give you a tangible return. It can just be, wow, this person means a lot to me and I want them to know what they mean to me. And to me, that's good time spent. That was an investment. Or, this relationship to me, this person is so valuable in this way. They always show up for me in this way. So anytime I spend with them, that feels like an equal energy exchange, or I want to give them that time. Or, wow, this person's so valuable with their business mindset and their wisdom. Or, wow, this is a person that I know that will always be there for me in sickness, in health, in whatever that looks like, right? So where are you spending versus investing in a relationship? And also going through your schedule for the day and saying, wow, this is time that I'm going to be doing this thing over and over and over again. Where could I turn this into a system, or where could I hire someone, or where could I invest in time in the beginning in order to get that time back later, like expand that time? Because the most successful people look at things in terms of where can I actually make my life better as well. It's not just about streamlining your schedule, but it's about the long term and making your life better, right? Like for us, this lake house that we're in right now, this was a true investment. Because for us, it wasn't just like a property. It was a property that's going to give back to us tenfold because we get to invite the people that we love the most here and also want to get to know better and give them this incredible experience. So in return, we want to spend time with them. We want to get to know them. The wisdom that they have in their lives really means something to us. And the time spent together in this relationship that we want to build, we can see it being something that is really valuable in our lives. So we want to give something of value. So for us to create the income and the means and the investment on this home just looked like returns for us for years and years and years and years, being able to create these really rich experiences for people that we want relationships with, or people that we have relationships with that we wanted to give back to, and give this experience of being in nature, letting nature just hold them, being able to teach them something if they don't know how to wakeboard or wake surf or be on the boat, or maybe in their life they just need that time out in nature and need that time to unplug and have beautiful conversations over coffee and laugh and drink wine and do all the things, right? So that is an investment for us that will pay us dividends in other ways that you cannot measure, in other ways that you can't measure. So really thinking of it in terms of that. Where are you investing? What do you want to invest in? And where are you just spending that time? So you guys, I don't know if you know this, but I have been doing a daily text, like Monday through Friday. I have been sending out manifestation mantras, questions to really ponder every single day that just make you really think, like, where are you spending time versus investing time? Things like that I just want you to take a second, get intentional so that you are on the right path and setting up the life that you want. So if you guys want to be a part of my daily text list, all you have to do is text the word daily to 310-496-8363. That's the word daily to 310-496-8363. I would love to communicate with you in that way. It's so much fun to see your responses and be able to chat with you. I can't respond to everyone every day. This community is growing so insanely fast, but I try to respond to at least 10 or 20 of you every single day on your responses. So you guys, I'm sending you so much love. I hope that you join that list. And until next time, earn your happy. Bye, everyone.
Hey, do you know what the big secret is this year? And it shouldn't be a secret because this should be your biggest focus. It is building your community. I am always working on building and nurturing my community, and everyone is talking about the power of community. Without an online community, you just cannot grow organically or create a real movement, which is what I know that we're all after. And you can build trust or monetize your audience. When you get community right, not only does your audience grow faster, but so do your sales. But where's everybody going to be managing their communities these days? And a lot of online entrepreneurs and thought leaders are turning to Circle.so. Circle is an all-in-one community platform. It lets you host content and create discussions, live streams, group chats, and memberships all under your own brand. And what's so cool about Circle.so is that you don't even need a website or Facebook group. Instead, Circle lets you build your own community site where you can host content and manage your members. You can even create locked and unlocked content spaces, groups, and classes. How freaking cool is that? You can put your content behind a paywall too, and you can charge different amounts of money for different spaces on your community site. Circle.so is famously easy to use, and it has a free 14-day trial for you, so you can go check it out, see if you like it, see if you love all the options. Just go to Circle.so. Go check it out right now, you guys. Imagine being able to manage your community, start group chats and live classes, and accept payments all in one place. Kind of mind-blowing since this is usually spread all over the place. You have to log into so many different things. If this is the year to capture, organize, and monetize your community, head over to Circle.so. You can get a free trial and start building your online community right now. Just go to Circle.so. You guys, you get the 14-day free trial. So just go and see if it's for you. It's going to streamline everything and make your life so much easier. It's so freaking cool. Want to know a huge secret to my success? Okay, not only my success, but just about every single person that I have interviewed on this podcast who is successful has this in common. You guys, they love to journal. They capture their life lessons and what they're grateful for. But a lot of people don't keep this up consistently. And most people do know that the research shows that journaling deepens your gratitude and increases self-awareness. But did you also know that journaling decreases stress and helps you achieve your goals faster? In fact, journaling is a huge differentiator between average performers at work and high-performing people. It leads to longer-term clarity, confidence, and success. So why don't more people journal? Why didn't I journal consistently? Honestly, they don't like staring at a blank page. It's hard to carry a book around with you or a notepad, and they just don't even know what to write about, or they just forget. That's why I know that you're going to love Growth Day. It's the world's #1 system for self-improvement, and it's like all-in-one personal development in an app. And it has an awesome digital journal, and people love it. Growth Day's digital journal has hundreds of research-backed writing prompts for self-reflection, positive mindset, confidence building, and success. I use them all the time, and it makes me think in ways that I typically don't, and it makes me ask myself better questions, which we all know gets better results in our life. It even has prompts that help you develop a daily, weekly, or monthly habit of reflecting on your life and identifying areas to grow. So it's a perfect time of year to start journaling, you guys. When you sign up at Growth Day, you also get systems for habit tracking, goal setting, and scoring, and improving every area of your life. Best of all, I get to teach there too, you guys. I'm so excited. I hope that I get to see you. I teach live in Growth Day every single month with a new topic just for you. So join me there. Start your free trial at growthday.com/Lori. Hey all, I'm so excited to share with you, Earn Your Happy is now part of Growth Day Podcast Network. A bunch of us are coming together to bring more growth to the world and support shows and brands that we truly believe in. And one of my friends is also on the network, and I'd love for you to go subscribe to his show. You guys, Trent Shelton has the most incredible podcast. It's called Straight Up with Trent Shelton, and it's going to remind you that you are built for this. I have heard Trent speak in person multiple times. I've listened to his podcast a ton. He's coming on the show, and I literally cannot wait because this man just spits straight fire. It is like truth that goes to your core and makes you take action right away. If you want one of those podcasts that when you're just out on a walk, you can't help but want to start running and run through a wall in your life, this is the show to go listen to. So you guys make sure that you go subscribe to the show Straight Up with Trent Shelton. You're going to love it.